Half Gamers here with a play from our good friend DaRico. This is Spud Shaver, and we're going to watch him as Zerg go against Terran. He's currently Platinum League, and he's about to crush a Masters. Take it away.
As you can see here, I go for a 15 hatch because that's like the best opening in my opinion for Zerg vs Terran. So at this point in the game, I go for 2 queens. 2 queens. Come on. You know you want to. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. There we go. 2 queens. And he's gone for a proxy barracks, which is not looking good for me, as you can see here, which we completely missed for some reason.
Yeah, this is generally a really terrible position for the Zerg to be in early on. So there's not a lot of defense going. Those 2 queens are not going to help the barracks, and it's a lot of damage for the Zerglings to take down. But we'll see what happens.
So my answer to this is I decided to go for a Baneling Nest, because I just figured that would be the quickest way to take it down without taking a ton of damage. But the problem with the Baneling Nest is you lose gas for upgrades and stuff like that, but I figured it was better than losing this hatchery. That takes a while to get back up.
Anything is better than losing the hatchery.
Indeed. So he's just firing away, and here comes the Banelings. Oh, yeah. Peace out. So at least my hatchery survived. I mean, that's pretty much all that counts at this point in the game.
Yeah, minus a queen of some time, but you can make it up. He's invested in the barracks, invested in microing. He lost a little bit of time on his own.
And Mechanics decided to go for, he followed or backed this up with an expansion of his own, which was definitely a good move on his part, because he can out-resource me at this point in the game. I mean, I've made nothing but Zerglings, so I'm low on drones, which is definitely not good. But hopefully I can get myself back into this game. At this point in the game, I'm just kind of droning up, getting speed, getting some upgrades. For some reason, I go Spore Crawlers, and I'm not entirely sure why I do that. I think I was expecting Banshees for some reason, but
they're good to have. They're not expensive.
Yeah,
it never hurts to make 3 extra than you need.
But I guess that was my platinum senses kicking in.
It's also a great defense versus small drops. If somebody tries to 1 medevac you, sometimes it's the deterrent you need.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I opt to go for an infestation pit because I feel like infestors are always just a good unit to have. I mean, in pretty much any situation, they can always be helpful, you know. And I always like to get burrow after I get my lair tech because it's always helpful, especially if you're in a tight situation and you don't want to lose those units.
Yeah, and the worst case scenario when you have burrow versus Terran is you're going to force him to use up his energy on scans, which means you're costing him mule minerals.
That's very true. And he always wants mules because they're mules. That's pretty self-explanatory. But he's going for a nice drop, which is definitely always good to do in pretty much any matchup. Terrans always want to be dropping because it puts their opponent out of position. And yeah.
Even in team matches, drops can be extremely effective for this exact reason right here, loss of minerals.
So he's going for my main, and I'm pretty scared of this push because I can lose a lot. But I bring my Banelings, he gets scared and picks him up, and I'm still trying to get this drop thwarted. And these obviously became very helpful, you know, great positioning. And he's killing off a bunch of stuff. He's killing off queens. I mean, he's doing a lot of economic damage here. Because I need those queens for larva injects. I need those queens for creep spread. I need those queens for anti-air defense, all that stuff. So this was a really, really good drop by Mechanics. So, but my third base is up and running. I'm not going too gas heavy of a build. I mean, I want to get Infestors, but right now I'm pretty much just relying on Zerglings only, pretty much for defense. Maybe a few Banelings here and there. But
in his defense, though, all he's encountered so far, Speedlings, Banes, and Marine tanks, when microed correctly, are pretty crushing counter to that.
This is true. But he's floating quite a bit of resources, as am I. I would be putting this more into upgrades. What are my upgrades at right now? Okay, I have 2 armor and 0 attack. He has 0 and 1.
What are his tanks?
His tanks 0-0.
No good.
So at this point in the game, he's done a lot of economic damage to me. I think it's time to return the favor. So I go for some hit squads here. And he goes for a drop himself. Boom. But I counteract that pretty quickly.
Very ineffective drop this time.
Yeah.
Nothing done.
And as you can see, the supplies have evened out a little bit, which is good. And, undetected samurai assassins going in. I hope I split them, but I'm not entirely sure. Do I? Oh, what the hell? How'd he see that? Oh. Yeah, I do split them. So you see I've got these here. And I'm sending these guys up here. I'm gonna hopefully do some do that first. Just to distract them. So when they pop, he sees that there's someone over here. And then I go over here. So I can do more damage in the main than I do at the natural. And I'm getting a lot more Infestors. Because it's always good to have against Terran. Because Marines pretty much crush all Zerg units. So you want to get fungals off on them.
Yes, those Infestors, also pretty underplayed overall, especially in teams, and if used correctly, they can be an appropriate counter to almost any makeup.
Indeed. I mean, Infestors are one of the, I'd say, top 5 best units in the game. So I opt to go for an Ultralisk Cavern. What are your thoughts on Ultras against Terran?
Well, seeing how he's currently at the massive amount of 0 Marauders, it's probably an incredible meat shield, but if he was to adjust from anything besides Marines and tanks, it would be a god-awful unit.
Yeah. So I think it's a pretty solid late game kind of strategy. Against what Mechanics is going anyways. Just Ultralisk, Baneling, Zergling. If you can meat shield with the Ultras, get some good Baneling hits off, it can work wonders. That was pretty good defense by me. I don't want to toot my own horn, but...
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do. They were. And we got a pretty big engagement coming here. I should be leading with my Ultralisks so they can tank some of the damage. Possibly throw down some infested Terrans so the tank soaks up some of the tank fire and then run in with my swarming units. This is pretty intense. Uh-oh. What's gonna happen? He stims. No!
Oh, and he killed a lord up there. That wasn't cool.
Yeah. Here we go. So, let's see what happens. Up, crushing. Fungal. Yeah, see, these kinds of engagements, they just went so well. And you notice the tab up here. We got quite a big lead.
Yes, very little of the important units for Zerg were just lost.
Indeed. See, I kept all my... I kept some Ultras alive, kept all my Infestors alive. Lost mostly Zerglings, a few Ultras. I think that went pretty well for me.
He's making his new army, which is just enough to counter what you got right now, which is quite the advantage.
I don't know. I still not 100% positive that this guy's actually a Masters player. When I looked at his record, it said that he was Masters, but
maybe just briefly.
Maybe just for this season or something. I don't know. So here's going to be the last engagement. Oh, I'm going in. Go Ultras. Yes. Bungles go off. Ultras tanking up that damage.
Yeah, he is strongly dependent on stutter step apparently for his micro style, so the fungals basically just ended his whole gameplay.
That would have worked if he had... Oh god.
Just so you know how terrible you are, I won't finish my sentence.
Yeah, basically what he did is he paused the game and then left.
Like
which I guess really showed me, taught me a lesson or something.
I actually heard that the other day, that if you do that, you get to Masters League. I guess it's true.
Pause and then leave?
Yeah.
Maybe that's something I should try.
It explains a lot. Mechanics. Bad manners, guy. Bad manners.
I mean, I didn't play the greatest in this game. I thought it would be a good gameplay just to kind of show. But, yeah, there's a lot of stuff I could have done better. But I thought it was a
fair
decent
amount of
game.
Terran advice, actually. That's what I'm saying. This one is Terran advice versus Zerg.
Yeah, and I really wish I'd used these. Some things main things I could have done better, I think, were making sure I expanded a few more times, keeping my economy on track, aka these guys, getting upgrades a little bit sooner, I think, and creep spread, I think.
Creep spread and scouting. No one ever does it enough. We're hypocrites, though. We don't do it enough either.
Alright, well, this was a quick, pretty long game, but thanks for tuning in. Until next time.
Yeah, we're not pro, but we are half pro, half gamers.